Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining me today. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the family. I am so excited. We are talking about Married at First Sight, Season 15, San Diego, the official episode 1. Although this is our 4th video, so if you missed any of the preview videos, the matchmaker special, the kickoff, the new experts, please go check out our other videos on Season 15. And if you have not seen our official predictions in the kickoff special video, please go and see the kickoff specials. We're going to do today like we always do it. We will have the timestamps in the description box. Therefore, if you are excited about a certain part or a certain couple, then please see the timestamps in the description box so that you can just jump right to that. In all of the mixed scenes, we will cover in the couple review as it relates to that couple. I am really excited about this episode because this episode is the foundation episode. It lays the foundation of what we're going to see upcoming because they haven't met their spouses yet, but now production is involved. The matches have been made. And now we get to see more about the family and those who are around them. And you guys know the family, they always tell us the truth. And I think that in future seasons, I think that they should interview the families before they solidify these matches because we learn so much more about them and their personalities once we meet the family and the friends. And we have to remember that when this episode was created, production already knows what they're gonna say on decision day, and production already knows what the pinpoints are gonna be where they're gonna have contention in their relationships. So I really see that as production now recreating for us, giving us the juice as to what we are gonna see coming up in the upcoming episodes. Therefore, I pay very close attention when they're pairing or they're asking a question. I think some of the questions are set there by production because they know what the other person has already said. So we're going to take a deep dive into this and see what we get. Make sure you are a part of the conversation by commenting in the comment section and also be part of the congregation by subscribing. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by Bynum's Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video. We first start off with Lindy and Miguel. Dr. Pepper tells us that Miguel is ready to sweep his wife off her feet, and Lindy is ready to put up her dating apps and find her forever. Pastor Cal says that these two were matched because Lindy and Miguel both desire a partner who is high intelligence and ready to work through issues and not throw in the towel at the first sign of trouble. We're going to see if they really stick to that. Lindy is a self-admitted overthinker who is joyful and exuberant, but sometimes spiral out. And Miguel's calm nature will help her put her at ease. Miguel has a history of putting in more work in his relationship than his partners. And Lindy is eager to be in a marriage where each spouse is giving their all. We then learn a little more about Lindy. She's had crazy, terrible dating app experiences. She is ready to settle down. She feels pretty awkward most of the time, which I think this may explain her over talking, oversharing. Sometimes people have an awkward energy when they feel awkward and, they express their nervous energy in a different way. So I'm thinking maybe she expresses it in being talkative. She's an anxious overthinker. She grew up very sheltered. Her 8th grade graduation was a party of 2. She was raised Seventh-day Adventist, which is a denomination of Christianity. They have strict rules on jewelry and no dancing. She had it hard because she was a free spirit and her religious upbringing made dating horrible. Her mom really enforced no sex before marriage. Isn't that all religions? Most religions enforce no sex before marriage. And she says one night stand she had a one night stand, which is like insane in the Christian world. Yes, I would agree. Having a one night stand is insane in the Christian world. But she says that that's normal in your early 20s. But if you never seen that and no one around you has done it, it feels crazy. Well, I am a church girl and I don't know very many people, and I don't really know anybody in my circle who's had a one night stand. And I don't think that that's just normal for 20-year-olds. So not sure if that's normal for 20-year-olds and I just don't know it because I'm in the Christian space, then let's have the conversation in the comment section. I would really like to know, but I don't think that one night stands are just normal. 20-year-olds just go around having one night stands. She's a physical therapist with a clinical doctorate. Her favorite thing to do is to ask patients about their spouses and how long they've been married, which I would find that really fun too, especially when you see these older couples and they've been together forever. That is really exciting. She says she has a bad picker when it comes to men. She picks people who are emotionally unavailable, not ready for a level of commitment that she is looking for, and they're not ready to start life with someone who is ready to commit. So she has a bad picker and hoping that Married at First Sight can help her in this. Her friend says that she gets hangry, and when she does, she just shuts down. They says she's good at handling confrontations. She emotionally can get heightened and needs somebody to calm her down. She gets irrationally mad and fixates on little things. I think that that's really going to cause a problem because we're going to see one of the things about Miguel is he will sweat the small stuff. So if she fixates on little things and he sweats the small stuff, that is going to be a hard combination. Also in there, she said that she needed somebody to calm her down. But Miguel, he seems like he's kind of doesn't like confrontation very well. And he seems like he's more of a soft-spoken guy. So I don't know if he's just going to be willing to jump in there and calm her down. She's emotional. She's an emotional person and things get the best of her. And she's always means well, but she can get a little crazy sometimes. So I think that I'm not sure how that part of her personality is going to work with Miguel. Lindy says it's a gamble. She feels hopeful because she wants to spend forever with someone. She wants to have kids and she's ready with those birthing hips. And mainly I wouldn't pay attention to that, but I think there is such thing as birthing hips. And since she's in the medical field, she probably really knows what that means and, you know, how it makes it easier for a woman to have a child if her hips, you know, I don't know, because it comes out the birth canal is, you know, I think related to your hips. So it really meant something to me when she said that she has birthing hips because she's in the medical field, so she would know. Then we see Miguel. He says he has lots of layers. He's a dork, he's a jock, he's a lover, he's a fighter, and a hopeless romantic. He loves writing creatively. He likes to write love sappy poems. He found his escape and he likes fantasy and sci-fi, which he does by playing video games and reading comic books. He wants to introduce his wife to the world of Dungeons and Dragons, which is an improv based in fantasy setting with role play. So we talked about that last time, wondering if Miguel would expect his wife to actually play Dungeons and Dragons. And it looks like he does, that he wants her to come to the table and be a part of this experience. And I hope that she is open and I hope that she will support him in that way. However, if he does this more than once a month, I think that that would be unreasonable to want her to come every time. But every now and then, maybe even once a month, I think personally I could handle it if I was her and my husband wanted me to support him in that way. But more than that, I think that that would be an unreasonable request. But what do you guys think? Let's have the conversation in the comments. He says he has a doctorate in neuroscience. He has his PhD in neuroscience, but he gave it up. He gave up science research for medical writing. His parents were Puerto Rican, and at the age 10, his dad moved him and his siblings to Puerto Rico, and his mom left. And since that time, that has been a reoccurring theme with him, that women, he can't rely on them or be safe because they keep leaving. And you come on Married at First Sight, because that's definitely a possibility. But he's been the only one to put in the effort in relationships, and he has not had a return on his investment. He needs someone that's a good listener that cares to know about him. And I think that might be an issue if Alexis has read Lindsay correctly, because Alexis said that Lindsay talks a lot and that she does not care about what other people have to say, that she has no awareness of that. So if that's right, and he needs someone that's a good listener that cares to know about him, and she doesn't give off that vibe, I think it's gonna create a problem in their relationship. He gets dissatisfaction when that's not present. So he's saying that if he doesn't get anybody that is a good listener, or who at least seems like they care about him, then, he's going to be dissatisfied, which I don't know. I feel like I could be biased, that when you grow up in a religious household, that hopefully you've gotten some of those caring sides, because most religions have that caring aspect to them. He requires and brings that emotional depth, and he's a serial monogamist, and marriage is the end game. So what Miguel's friend said is, his friends has not approved of several of his prior relationships, that Miguel forces relationships that are not a right fit, that he tends to avoid red flags, and he has found inappropriate text on a lady's phone, and he ignored it several times. Some people have a lot of barriers, but he does not. I think that that's going to wear in his favor, that he does not have a lot of barriers that most people have. And I think the fact that he doesn't give up on relationships easily, I think that's going to be good too, because you cannot do that in Married at First Sight. You have to give people time to adjust and to change and to accept them how they are. I don't know. I don't really see Lindy as really a problematic person. So I think that this may work for them. I'm hoping that it will. I do see that there may be some things that she needs to adjust, especially her attentiveness to him, and that she needs to bring it down, because you don't need anybody to calm you down as an adult. So, but I mean, I think that the red flags are very minor for these two. And his friends do not want him to be taken advantage of. But I don't think that Lindy is that person to take advantage of another person. But, we'll see. I don't know. I think she said in another part that she would run over people. So maybe I'm wrong about her personality based on what she said herself. Now we see them meeting each other for the first time. The ladies met at like a outdoor beach area, and the guys met playing volleyball. So Lindy said that she needs a man who's assertive, who can speak up for me and knows what he wants and can come to her with problems. And if not, she will walk all over him and eat him alive. I do not see Miguel as assertive. I do think that he is a thinker, so he processes things first and then he communicates effectively. Hopefully, it sounds like he could be one who communicates effectively, but I don't see him as assertive. And so I hope that she does not take advantage or walk all over him, as she has stated. And that could be a possibility, because if that has happened to him in the past, then, that's a possibility. But I don't think that she's like a cheater, like he's used to people cheating. And I don't know what a walk all over you would really look like. So I'm interested to see that fleshed out during the season. But this is where we see our first look that Lindsay and Alexis, they don't get really along very well, because Alexis says that Lindsay talks a lot, and that she's not personable in that way, and that she does not care what other people are thinking. And I don't think that that is going to be good for Miguel. And then they show Lindy talking while they are on this outing. Miguel, at the outing with the guys, he says he's overly sensitive and has insecurities. So she might be able to walk over him if he has some insecurities and he's sensitive. He chooses his battles judiciously. So I think that that is where it will be good between him and Lindsay, because he will choose his battles and he thinks before he speaks. So he's not going to be assertive. He's going to think about it before he says it. He does sweat the small things. So that is another area where they may kind of clash, because if they're both really latching on to the small things that happen every day, that could cause a big problem. He is creative, dorky, he has a softer side, and he writes poetry, and he'll share with them a super short poem that is one of his best. And that was the thing. He said this was his best, and it says, "I'm too in it to see otherwise, the interwoven into the fabric of my own lives. How do I keep sight of the forest for the trees when I'm too preoccupied with the water to nourish the leaves?" I did not get the poem, but I hope he does not read this to Lindy, because what stood out for me, he says, "I'm intertwined into the fabric of my own lives." I'd be like, do you lie? Like, I don't know. Why would you? I don't know. Are you talking about yourself, or what lies have you told? So I wouldn't read a poem with lies in it to my stranger wife. Then we see what Mitch thinks about Miguel. He says he's sincere and upfront communicator. He's full of surprises and he has a lot of quirks. So that is what Mitch's first impression of Miguel was. We then see them at the bachelorette party. At this bachelorette party, Alexis still hasn't found any commonality with Lindy, because she says that she's still looking beside them both getting married at first sight. She doesn't see any connection points. And we do see Lindy being a little awkward because she is uncomfortable because she cannot dance. And I think she's talking to like Krysten about not being able to dance. But other than that, and I don't really remember anything about Miguel at the bachelor party. I didn't really see him engaging in any type of behavior at that event. We then see the night before the wedding. Lindy says, best case scenario, he's super handsome and really charismatic. And Miguel says he's calling it right now, instant fireworks. As soon as they see each other, they will be two lost souls finding each other. And he still thinks that the risk pales in comparison about what the possibility is to come. And that was it for Lindy and Miguel for this particular episode. So what do you think? What do you think about Lindy and Miguel? Do you think that they are a good match? Do you think that their quirks will get it on each other's nerves? What do you think about them both sweating the small stuff? I think that is going to be huge. Please, let's have the conversation in the comments. We next have Krysten and Mitch. Dr. Pepper lets us know that both are outdoor enthusiasts. Mitch has the self-sufficiency that Krysten is looking for in a husband, and Krysten shares Mitch's strong desire to start a family. Pastor Cal says that Krysten and Mitch are a great match because they journey to become the people that they are today. What does that mean? We all journey to become the people that we are today. We all have a journey that's led us to today and who we are. So I wasn't clear on how that related specifically to Krysten and Mitch. They're secure in themselves and what they want. Krysten is looking for a man with passion for what he does, and Mitch has passion for his work as an environmentalist. Krysten will find security in the fact that self-sufficient Mitch will not take advantage of her like other men have in the past, and most importantly, they care deeply about starting a family soon. So those are the reasons that they were matched. We then see Krysten, who tells us that she woke up and her dog was the big spoon, which lets us know that Krysten has a personality. I thought that was really cute, really funny, really shows she has a personality. She said at the age of 23, she met her ex-fiance in an apartment building, and he was sleeping on someone's couch, and that should have been a red flag, but they dated for 5.5 years. So until he was 27. But I don't think that that's a red flag. I mean, he's 23. So like if he was 30 sleeping on somebody's couch, but 23, and hopefully got off the couch in the 5 years that you were dating. But she spent her entire life savings on a gorgeous, lavish destination wedding. And then 2 weeks before, her fiance's mistress revealed a 6-month relationship. I thought this was interesting, which means that she had no idea. She sounded like she was very surprised, which I feel like that means she's like not the jealous type. She doesn't snoop, like she wasn't snooping to find out like what he was doing. And I think that the truth always reveals itself. So I think that this is just a case of that even though it was so close to their wedding, the truth always reveals itself. Even if you're not looking, the mistress came to her. She and all of her friends went to the destination without a groom, and it turned out she turned a sad situation and something that was dark into the best weeks of her life. I love that because it shows that she can make lemonade out of lemons and just see the positive and turn it around. And I'm sure, I mean, if you're having a destination wedding and it is 2 weeks before the wedding, I'm sure hotels are already booked, reservations are already booked. And since she spent her life savings, I'm wondering if she paid for everyone, or, maybe she didn't have a lot in her life savings, still was her savings, but she spent it. So I'm wondering, did her friends have to already spent their money, or did she just foot the bill for her friends to come and enjoy her in her wedding? She actually showed a picture of it, and it looked like a lot of people was there. So that's really good that she has a huge community. Her biggest fear in life is dying alone with no children. She wants to have children absolutely 100%, and she wants to raise them like she was raised. She had an incredible childhood. She was oldest of 3 girls, which I can totally relate to that because I had a wonderful childhood, and I too desired children, and I wanted to raise them like I was raised. I'm infertile, so I was not able to have children, but I can totally relate to her on this point. Her parents divorced when she was 14. Her outside experiences, she says, does not qualify her from finding love. And marrying a stranger is risky, but she says to have something you've never had, you must do something that you have never done. Her friends, they say, how can you get married? You haven't even met the guy. You don't know his family. You don't know his name. You don't know his religion, what he does, if he wants kids. There is just so many questions. And then at the end, they say, it's crazy, but it's Krysten. So they are not surprised that she is going to take a risk. They said that she is a risk taker and she loves operating outside of the box. She told her mom and her sister, and they're super excited, but she shared with her friends that she had not told her dad. And they were like, wow, how is this going to happen? He is just going to show up. How is he going to be prepared? She says she is going to tell him on the wedding day. She has told him to meet her on a certain date at a certain time and to look nice. So I'm assuming that she knows her dad, and she knows he's going to looking nice to him, is going to be dressed appropriately for a wedding. Or maybe she just, hey, come as you are. That's how you are. Doesn't have to be a suit or anything like that. But I don't really think that this is a really big deal for me. She must know her dad and know if he is going to be on board or not with this type of surprise kind of thing. Somebody like, well, I mean, they separated when she was 14. I'm going to make an assumption that she lived with her mom, so she's probably closer to that side. So her dad, she's a risk taker. She's probably done crazy things like this before. So I feel like it's not a big deal. She knows her dad. She knows in the end if he's going to go along with it or not. I mean, I think that he is going to go along with it. They get married. And she said in the clip that if he wasn't on board, she doesn't know if she could go through with it. So it sounds like he got over it pretty quickly, and hopefully he walked her down the aisle. So we'll see. Next, we see Mitch. His dad passed away in 2014, so family became really important. He says the ocean is his refuge. He started to see trash all the time in the ocean, and this raised his awareness. He grew up with a rebellious instinct to the world and was a rebel without a cause. He found a cause worth fighting for by making the planet a better place for future generations. He is career focused, no time to date or think about relationship. His longest relationship was 2 to 3 years ago. He is a loudmouth with a very inappropriate sense of humor. I don't know if anybody would like a loudmouth with an inappropriate sense of humor. And if that's who you are, like, are you working on that? So he just said it like matter of fact, like we are supposed to accept that. But I don't think that Krysten, she seems really proper. I don't think that she's gonna like inappropriate sense of humor in somebody that is a loudmouth. I don't know how that's gonna work with her. He says his biggest flaw is he has commitment issues. And like, is that good for Krysten? Because she's already been kind of left at the altar one time, so she really needs somebody who will commit. So I don't think that that's gonna, I hope that he says he's ready to commit, but if you haven't committed before and you have commitment issues, but I do like that he's aware of it. So he's telling us the things that, you know, he is aware that he's inappropriate sense of humor and he has commitment issues. His parents divorced when he was 3 years old. His brother and his sister-in-law are his role model for what a healthy marriage looks like. And I'm really glad that he actually has a role model, because some people don't when we come from broken homes. I was raised in a single family home as well. And it is really good for us to see role models of marriage. His brother is 2 years older, married with 2 beautiful girls. So I'm surprised he looks at him as a role model when they're so close in age, but I think that that also speaks to relationship that he has with his brother. He took care of his older niece for 1.5 years between careers, getting married at first sight because it's probably the only way he's going to be married, which is not a good thing. He needs help to get out of his comfort zone, and this is the way he's doing it. He's going to force himself to take the highest level of commitment in relationships when he's failed to even take the lowest level of commitment. That's scary. He said he is going to force himself to take the highest level of commitment in a relationship, which is marriage, when he failed at even the lowest level of commitment in a relationship. His ideal wife will be a strong woman able to speak her mind. And I think that is Krysten. I think that she is a strong woman and she will speak her mind, but I also think she's gonna speak her mind tactfully. I don't think that she's just a loudmouth. I could be wrong, but that's just the vibe that I get, because we do see a pretty heated conversation between the two of them in one of the commercial clips, but I think that she is demure and just carries herself like just a young lady. So he wants a woman who has a strong opinion, strong will, and lot of determination. Now he says he wants this, but we'll see if he can handle Krysten, who does meet this particular requirement. So his family says, so he told his family on Zoom, his brother was in the room with him, his sister-in-law, his 2 nieces, and his mom were on Zoom. And they said, the nieces said that they want Uncle Mitch to find a wife. The mom says that the girls need cousins. They all say that he is rough around the edges. They're not sure if he's ready for marriage, but he is a good guy. So really great to hear that he is a good guy at least. So hopefully he won't take advantage of her or anything like that. He's never been in a real committed relationship, which is very interesting because Krysten is looking for somebody to commit and he's never really committed. So he may have that phobia, but if he's ready for a family and his desire for family is stronger than his desire to bail out on the relationship, maybe this is his time and he will commit. His brother says that he hasn't had to suffer through some of those really hard conversations when you just don't see eye to eye, but you have to come to some sort of agreement. And isn't that just the roller coaster of marriage, when you do not see eye to eye, but have to come to the agreement? And I feel like when those things happen, that's when the rubber meets the road for us married couples. He might think he can walk away, but you can't walk away. You got to solve it, which didn't Pastor Cal say that they're both willing to commit in terms of a relationship? His brother said he's always been a rebel and he does not resist confrontation. There is going to be an argument. And he told him, try not to say anything that he's going to have trouble taking back. And Mitch says that he will cause a scene in the restaurant because they will not fill up his cup. And don't we know people like that? I know people like that. And we look at these people and we say, oh, they're never going to work. They're not going to get married. But I know people like that and they are married. So sometimes you just have that spouse who has the right temperament, like Katina and Elijah Wan. We saw a lot of things in Elijah Wan's personality that we said we would never deal with, but Katina just stuck it out. And then he was able to change some of the things, and some of the things, that's just who your husband is. And you got to accept that and just sit there and grin your teeth and bear and say, oh God, please, I hope this goes away really quickly, because there's things in our personalities that your spouse is not going to like everything within your personality. But for me, that would be hard to deal with, because I do not like people making a scene in public. So I don't know how KRYSTIN is going to look at this. So we see them at the ladies' lounge and the gentlemen are playing volleyball. Mitch, he feels a lot of pressure to like who they choose. And I like that. I think he should feel pressure. This is a big commitment. And they have, I feel, done a lot of work, although we always get on experts for making the matches. But see, I feel like they did make the matches. They made the matches. I'm not going to say perfectly matched, but they did a good job on some of them. And then it becomes the personality of the person, because in order to make a marriage work, you have to really work. And sometimes it's just hard to put in that commitment that it takes in order to make the marriage work. You have to want to communicate, you have to want to change, you have to want to compromise. And we see a lot of people on the show that they are not willing to put in that work and to compromise in order to make that marriage work. And they are strangers. So we also see that there's a high divorce rate within just regular married couples who know each other and choose each other. So we know the stakes are going to be even higher for people who get married at first sight. We then see KRYSTIN at the ladies' lounge, and she's talking about her red flags. And she says her red flags are guys in their late 30s who have never been married before and never had a serious relationship before. And her question is, are they really ready to settle down? And that is our question for Mitch. That is the question. Is Mitch really ready to settle down? Because we see she just described Mitch. Not only, she said guys in their late 30s, he is in his early 40s. So that gives a bigger red flag. But I love what KRYSTIN said next. There's something to love about everybody. And that is so true. And if she is not immediately attracted to the person, she's going to find something to latch on to, because there is something to love about everyone. And I think that we need to realize that even in those relationships that we struggle with, whether it's marriage or not, there is something to love in everyone. So I hope she can do that, even if she doesn't like his look or personality or something that she latches on. I really wish that they would keep the commitments that they say in the beginning, because of course, if they do those things that they say they're gonna do in marriage, if they did that in the marriage, like some of these marriages really would work. And not only for them, but for us, if we really put in that work that we said we were going to do. Those vows we said on our wedding days, some of these marriages would work. I just wish they would just let me be a daily call expert for them so that I can say, stay in there, hang in there, you can do it. There's things that happen in our relationships that just send us to the roof. And if we just stuck to it, and the thing is though, both persons have to be willing to try. So I think that is the thing. That's one thing I love about Married at First Sight, is because sometimes they don't, but it is set up where both people want to be married, and we're hoping that at least for the first 8 weeks that we see them both trying. We then see Mitch talking to the men, and he talks about how he is an environmentalist and he's working for a nonprofit and he doesn't make a lot of money, but he cuts costs on trying to buy things that he doesn't need. And that can be a little hard when you don't make a lot of money and you're trying to impress your spouse. But that pairs well with what Krysten says, because she says that she doesn't have to have anyone who makes a lot of money like she does, but she wants somebody who is passionate about their work, because there is nothing like a man going to work that he does not enjoy. And that is a hard thing when the men have to go to work and they do not enjoy or like what they do. So I think that is very, very interesting. That is a criteria, something that I probably would not have asked for, but I think that is definitely great on her part, that she wants someone who enjoys their work, and he really does enjoy what he does. But then she says that she doesn't know what she's gonna do if he doesn't like her. If he doesn't like her, what is she gonna do? She cannot be herself. And it's so interesting, because I still think that this is a production thing, and I think the producers are trying to lead us on the journey of these relationships so we can kind of see what how the decisions were made, or where the contentions are when they finally meet each other. And last year I laughed at Chris. I literally laughed at Chris when he was saying, well, I hope she likes my occupation. I'm a real estate person. And I was like, who wouldn't think of, like, who wouldn't like a real estate person? Like, what bad thing can you say about a real estate agent? And then we see the whole thing about Alyssa and Chris and how she did like kind of make fun of his job. So this really is interesting to me that they put this conversation in with Krysten, because I think she's absolutely beautiful. I think her personality is beautiful. So the fact that she is talking about him not really liking her and they put that in there, I'm wondering, I think Mitch should be satisfied with Krysten. So I don't know. I'm always guessing as to why did they leave this in here. So I hope that Mitch, if you are listening, even though all of this is over and you've already made your last decision, you better like Krysten, because she is a great catch and she is a great girl. But it did send alarm bells up for me that they had her talking about, what if he doesn't like her? Man, I don't know. What do you think? We then see Krysten at the bachelorette party, and she says that she is all in. She has no cold feet, and she is going to be a ride or die wife. Then we see Krysten the night before the wedding. She says, I have waited my entire life to have a full commitment from someone. I'm ready. We then see Mitch. He says he really cannot wait to have a beautiful wife next to him, and he hopes that she likes to be called wifey, because that's from his favorite R&B song. Then we see Krysten the morning of her wedding. She says, today is my wedding day. I feel like I'm in a fairy tale. I can't believe I'm here right now, and this day has finally come. And Mitch says, I'm not going to lie and say that I've always been imagining that my wedding would come, because that's not true, but I definitely never thought it would be like this happy wedding day. Mystery fiance, I can't wait to meet you. So with that, it sounds like they are both really, really ready for marriage, and we will see if Mitch is ready for commitment. So what do you think? Let's have a conversation about it in the comment section. What do you think about Krysten and Mitch? Next, we have Morgan and Binh. Dr. Pepper says Ben is the dependable, nice guy that Morgan knows she needs, but never attracts. Fearless Morgan will be the willing adventure partner that Binh has been searching for. Pastor Cal then tells us why they were matched. Morgan and Binh are a solid match because they both worked hard on themselves in order to be ready for a supportive partner in a healthy relationship. Morgan needs happy-go-lucky Binh who isn't intimidated by her natural independence and leadership. Active and physically fit couple, and they will have a lot of fun as long as their adventures are not too expensive for Binh's frugal side. We then learn more about Morgan. Morgan likes video games, working out, and lifting weights. She's seen as headstrong and too independent by men. A year and a half ago, she was going through a lot. Her relationship wasn't good. She didn't like her career. She had no relationship with her father. She was gaining weight and she was unhappy with her look. And her mom reminded her of the strong line of Japanese women that she came from. And this was the turning point. She got out of the relationship. She made a career move. She became mentally stronger and became a healthier and happier person, and today she is extremely happy. But she does not like being alone, and she wants someone to share her life with. She's saying obviously she's doing something wrong, so she really wants the experts to help her. We then meet Morgan's friends, and it was so cute how she told them that she would be getting married at first sight, because they told her that you'll find someone when you least expect it. And she said, could come tomorrow, could be a couple of weeks, it could be a couple of weeks from now. And they were like, there's someone out there right for you. And she says, I'm getting married in 2 weeks. I thought that that was really, really cute. It's interesting when people say you'll find it when you least expect it. My question is, when are you not expecting it if it's something that you really want and desire? I don't know. I think I'm always in that expectation mode when it's something that I'm waiting or longing for or wanting for. So I don't know when you least expect it, but maybe that's a thing for some people. Her friends that says that she's a leader and not a follower, and that she likes her freedom and she likes her independence and she likes to be in control. She is intense and a strong woman. And if you like your freedom, you like your independence, and you like being in control, marriage is an interdependent relationship. So if you like your independence, why do you want to be married? I feel like if you like your independence and you like being in control and all of those things, then you should date, because then you don't have to make that commitment of interdependence in terms of a marital relationship. Just date and have a serious dating relationship with someone who, like you, does not want commitment. Because I think that that says that you don't want commitment. Because what man wants somebody who always is in control? And don't get me wrong, there are men, I guess, who does, because I guess we'll talk about one of them in a minute. But, you know, I guess there's some men who don't want to be in control. I don't know. And like that independence. So maybe that's Binh. Maybe he does like someone who is independent and in control and doesn't need the control. But I think most men, they want to be leaders. So they want someone who wants to be with them and wants to depend on them and want to be codependent on one another. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. She seems very strong-minded to me, and she seems very unwilling to compromise. Her friends revealed that she's intense and a strong woman, and one of them indicated that Morgan chipped her tooth while boxing. And they say, good luck to him. I always like it when they say good luck to him, like, you know, I don't know, that's what Lindsay's family from last year said. Good luck to whoever she marries, so good luck. I don't think that that's a good compliment for your friends to say good luck to the other guy. They should say that he's lucky. And she said something else that was really disturbing. She said that she wants Married at First Sight to give her a picture perfect man that's essentially for her, and she's ready to get married already. have they not seen episodes of Married at First Sight? And is there a picture perfect man? Because no one is perfect. And I feel like if that is your expectation, then you're setting yourself up for failure. But I think that Morgan is really headstrong, and I think that she is going to be too much for most men, but especially too much for Binh. So let's look at Binh. Binh says all of his friends are married or in serious relationships. He has 2 degrees and he is very smart. His mom is someone that he can go to for anything. She makes his day and she makes him smile. Every girl that he's dated, he's compared to his mom. She's the kindest person that he knows, and he feels like he wants someone who is like his mom in that way. Now, Binh is considered the mama's boy, but I think most men who have great relationships with their mom are looking for women with traits like their mom. I mean, I think my husband looked for traits like his mom in me, and I don't think that we are nothing alike, but I think the core of who we are is similar. May she rest in peace. And you know, I think that that is what Binh is looking for, because he is saying that his mom is really kind, that he can talk to her about anything. And so I don't think that, I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong, because, you know, mama's boys can look all different type of ways. And if he's looking for a mother, I don't think that that's what he will find. But I think that he is looking for someone with the loving characteristics of his mom, not looking for his mom or someone to mother him. At least I hope that's what it is. But I think that that's normal, that guys who have a great relationship with their mom and they love their mom, that they are looking for women who have traits similar to their mom and the core of who we are. But I don't know if I really see Morgan as nice and kind and someone that he'll be able to go to for anything. I don't see that in Morgan, but I hope that I'm wrong, because I hope she is nice and kind. And some of the bigger interactions, like the interactions with the ladies, they didn't use sound bites from things that she said. So maybe she's a little more laid back than what we think, but just based on the things that we just reviewed in terms of her characteristics of being controlled and independent and headstrong and intense. I don't know, I don't get nice from that, but maybe you can have those 2 types, and it's just how you carry that. You can be a nice and kind person. So I hope that Morgan is a nice and kind person, and that those are the traits that Binh is talking about when he says he wants someone like his mom. His parents left Vietnam in 1975 with very little, and they met in a refugee camp. He grew up in a traditional household. He was given a choice to become an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, and he excelled at mathematics, so he chose to become an engineer. And I know people like that. I work in the engineer space with most of the people at my job are engineers. And I have this one guy at my job, and I said, "How did you become an engineer?" And he said, "My mom told me I was going to be an engineer. And so she told me I was going to be an engineer. So that's what I did." And he has 4 brothers, and I work for the state, and they all work for our department. They are all supervisors in our department, and this one is particular a manager. And I said, "How did your brother?" He is the second of the 4. And so I said, "How did your older brother become an engineer?" He said, "My mom told us we were going to become engineers. And she told each one of them that they were going to become engineers, and each one of them did exactly what she said. And they are some of the top people at our job. They're amazing. Their work ethics, just their personality, like they really did excel in that." But it was so interesting to me that all 4 of them became engineers because that is what their mom told them they would become. And I'm surprised out of 4 boys, nobody rebelled. Everybody did it, but it's made them very successful. I hope that they enjoy the job that we all work on. So I believe that, when he says that his mom gave him a choice, his family, maybe his dad had a part in that too, and that he chose one of them. I think that is culturally how it may go in that particular culture. He said he loves hiking, working out, and going to the beach and doing things that are in San Diego, and also adventuring other parts of the world as well, as long as those are affordable. You guys check me, because I'm really sure that he said he likes adventuring other parts of the world as well, as long as they are affordable, because this seems like it might be an issue. But if he is okay with that, I don't think that it will be an issue, because Morgan wants to go to her home where her heritage is, where her legacy is, and tour that particular area. And it sounds like the producers are trying to convince us that Binh is not going to want to go because he's cheap. But in a conversation with the guys, I believe he talks about him going to an orphanage, and that orphanage sound like it was in another country as well, where he volunteered. So fact check me in the comments for that as well. But if he went there, and it was community service, so that may be like the passion, like he spends his money responsibly. So I don't think that he'll have a problem spending money on a trip for her to go seek out her legacy as to where her family comes from. I think that he's conservative in how he spends his money. And if I was Morgan and I see he's very community service oriented, I would just throw some type of community service event in with my trip to go seek out my family and my legacy. But I'm not sure if it's going to be a big problem like we think it is in terms of finances. And if it is, then shame on Binh, because she wants to go to see her legacy for a very good purpose. And I think that you can't be that cheap. You got to spend money in life, and he is saving money to create a life for his wife and kids. So now you got a wife, now you need to spend money so that she can enjoy some of the things that she wants to now. But I don't think it's going to matter for Morgan, because Morgan has already said that she wants to keep their money separate. So she may be like, I am not asking you, I am telling you, this is what I'm going to do. You don't have to come. Our money is not separate anyway. I got my money in the bank for our rent, for my portion of the rent, since she wants them to be 50-50. And if you don't know that conversation, please watch the kickoff special video, because some of the stuff was revealed in that video that I don't think that they really repeated here. So I don't know how this money thing is going to fare out. But he did talk about him being very, very frugal with his friends, in terms of he doesn't buy a birthday gift, and he would buy her stocks, and if she wants a Tesla, he'd buy her Tesla stock. And I like Binh. I am calling Binh my little brother, because I love a guy with a money goal. That is just awesome. And he wants to be out of debt by, he wants to be financially free by the age of, I think he said 40. And I love that. So I feel like Binh is my little brother. But if he's not into buying gifts for girls, even on their birthday, and stock, and I don't know if they were saying that as a banter. I hope they were, that is just not really how he is. I'm so glad that he mentioned that Pastor Cal said that he's going to have to compromise in this area, because come on now, we all want to gift on Valentine's Day, on Christmas, on our anniversary, and our birthday. We want a nice gift. Go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Spend the $80, $100 to get her something enjoyable. It doesn't have to be anything big. I think it's more the thought that you thought about me, or looked at something that I really liked and considered me. So it doesn't even have to be expensive, but we all like little gifts. So I hope that Binh's in this area. So we'll see. He says he's a frugal person because of his mom and dad, and he doesn't do laundry between the hours of 4 to 9 because those are peak hours. He doesn't use the air conditioner and doesn't use the heater. He just opens up on a window. I think he's going to have to compromise on that. I do not like to be cold. I don't like to be cold at all. So I could not take it. He says that this has affected relationships. He doesn't want to do bottle service because it costs too much. and he doesn't want to go out every weekend. He says acquiring debt is something that he can't compromise on. I do see that. I don't want to compromise on accumulating debt, acquiring debt, but he can do things that you can afford within your financial budget. And I will say, as a financial person, you do need to budget in fun. I mean, there is no guarantee how long we're going to make it in this life, and some things just need to be fun. So my advice to Ben would be, you gotta plan in some finances within your budget. If you don't want bottle service, that's understandable. You know, that might not be your thing, but you have to do some fun things, and you have to factor in fun. I encourage everyone who is making a budget, have yourself an allowance, which is just money that you can just blow and enjoy on things that you like. Outside of your bills, have an allowance. He says people see external things like his master program, fit body, stable job, but he would take away his master's program if it meant having a wife and a happy marriage. And I love that he said happy marriage, but only thing out of the thing, he said 3 things that people talk about: his master's program, his fit body, and his stable job. But the thing that he would give up is his master's program. You can still be an engineer with your bachelor's degree. So I don't know. I don't see that. I don't know why he used that. And I don't see that as a really big sacrifice that he would give up his master's program, because he could still do the same job that he's doing with a bachelor's degree. Only way you really move up in engineering is if you get your engineering license and become a PE. So I was not impressed with that one. He says he wants to find his best friend, which goes with what he said about his mom. He said he can tell his mom anything. So he has no luck on dating apps or meeting people. And it's hard to meet someone at the gym because people have RBF, and he didn't want to say it because his mom might hear him curse. And I'm okay with that. I think people should have respect for their moms. His friend said that he has not had the best luck with ladies. One of his friends lived with him for almost a year, which to me says he can compromise or get along with something. Because I mean, do you think the friend didn't turn on the air conditioner or the heat? Like, no roommate is going to fit into those rules. So I would really like to know what he did when he had the roommate situation. They say he is extremely dedicated in relationships. He was cheated on in the past. He's extremely cheap. He eats peanut butter sandwiches and a banana every day for lunch. And he puts his money into crypto and stocks. And he would buy his wife a stock for her birthday. That is a no-no. At the gentleman's outing, Ben talks about how he's an engineer, but he volunteered at an orphanage because he doesn't find his job fulfilling. And he taught kids nutrition and doing physical activities. And he would like to volunteer with his wife as well. So I hope that Morgan is into that. I hope that she would be open to volunteering. I can't see a reason why somebody wouldn't be open to volunteering. Morgan says she wants to go to Japan to see her Japanese heritage and her family legacy. She's a strong believer in taking care of herself, and she's really into Muay Thai fighting. So I really hope that Ben is up to doing that with Morgan and doesn't give her a hard time about finances. I still say Morgan should throw in a volunteer community service, but she may not be that aware in order to kind of make that recommendation, but I hope they do not. That is very important to her, and I think that he should support her in it. It was interesting because Alexis said that a deal breaker for Morgan would be if her husband wants to save money and doesn't want to travel. And we know that that is Ben. He does want to save money. We're not too sure if he's up for travel or not. At the gentleman's outing, Ben says that engineering is not fulfilling to him. He volunteered at an orphanage. He taught kids nutrition and doing physical activities, and he would love for his wife to volunteer with him. He also said that he is frugal, always trying to save money, always thinking about ways he can save money. But he's going to have a conversation about that, and he's open to compromise. So I hope that he is really open to compromise on the money issue and look at things that bring value because what she wants to do brings value. Now, other things may not, but going to Japan to look at her family legacy and to be a part of her heritage, I think that that brings value. He says, unlike his past relationship, he plans to spend quality time with his wife and not focus so much on his side hustle. He said previously that he wanted to be stable at 40 so that he can spend time with his family and with his wife and his children, and that it wasn't about the money, but it was about the freedom that the money brings. So I hope that Ben is at a place where he can experience some of the freedom that he desires so that he can spend time with Morgan and also be a little flexible on how he utilizes his money. So I am holding out for my brother Ben. I hope that I think that that's going to be his stronghold, that how he looks at money, how he deals with money, and what he's willing to do. I think for Morgan, her stronghold is going to be, she wants to be too independent in order to be married. She wants to be in control, and she doesn't seem like she has a compromising personality. And I think that anybody in any relationship, that would offer a hard time and make it difficult for you to get along with anyone. So during the bachelor and bachelorette party, we see Morgan really come out of her shell. She is dancing and crawling on the table. Honestly, to me, it looked like Morgan had a little too much to drink. I feel like she was kind of slurring her words. I'm not a drinker, so I'm not for sure, but to me, it sounded like she was a little tipsy in this whole interaction. However, what I thought was interesting is on both ends, they had a conversation about intimacy. And her thing is that she is starving for intimacy, and she really wants somebody who is assertive in that area. And she just wants that person to grab her and, take her down. And on the other hand, Ben is saying that he is open to intimacy, but he is going to allow the female to lead. But if she jumps him, then he is going to be open to that particular relationship. And that is what really kills me about communication, because I feel like they are both willing to meet the need of intimacy, but they're both going to wait till the other person makes like that first move, so then it may not happen. And I respect Ben. I think that he should wait. I think that especially on the first night, your honeymoon, you marrying a stranger, but so I don't know how that's going to work out for them. But I always think that this is what happens in relationships. You guys both have this thing that you're talking about, possibly with your friends, and you both are willing to meet the need, but because you don't communicate effectively to one another about the need that you have, it goes unmet for both parties. So let's see what happens to them on the wedding night. Now it's the night before the wedding. Morgan says, finally, the night before the wedding, I've been extremely nauseous all day today. I don't know what to do with myself and my nerves at this point. And Ben says, I'm not nervous about sleeping with my wife, but my roommate in college told me that I eat in my sleep. So hopefully she doesn't slap me with the pillows whenever I'm eating in my sleep. So does he put a snack on the nightstand and then eat it in his sleep? Like, I'm really interested to see how that goes. But that is what we have for Morgan and Ben. It is your turn to sound off and comment in the comment section. Let's have a conversation. Let me know what you think about Ben and Morgan. Do you see the red flags in this relationship? Do you think Ben is going to be too frugal? Did you see Morgan as independent and not really wanting a relationship? Do you think Morgan will be enough for him as it relates to characteristics like his mom? Or do you think that Ben is a mama's boy and I have it all wrong? It's not characteristics that he's looking for his mom. So sound off in the comments below. Next, we see Stacia and Nate. Dr. Pepper says that Stacia and Nate are a natural match, both stylish and good-natured individuals. both looking to create wealth and provide for their future families. Pastor Cal then tells us why they were matched. Both share the entrepreneurial spirit and goal of accumulating wealth for their future family. Spirited and creative Nate will bring out the playful side of exacting Stacia. Stacia will be the encouragement and enthusiastic partner Nate needs to keep them both on the path to success. And I do agree with that. I think Stacia is going to be the enthusiastic partner. I think that Stacia is going to provide direction for Nate in order to help him get where he wants to go with the things that he is doing. So I actually think that this couple may work. I think that I can see why they are being matched, and I think that you'll be surprised at my reasons. Let's look at Stacia. She says she has been focused on trying to build herself by going to school and working on her business. She doesn't need a man, she wants a man. She's definitely a no-nonsense boss. She will come in and get the job done. Nobody is going to try to persuade her any type of way. She believes she's single because she's intimidating to men. She will stand up for herself, put you in your place, and hold you accountable. Not in a bad way, though. She'll do that very nicely. She hasn't done anything to try and find anyone to date. She's been working and grinding. She's in the finance world and has investment properties that she renovates and rents out. She's about creating generational wealth. She's addicted to two things, coffee and success. She got her work ethics from not having things and wanting things as a child, but not having enough money to afford them. She doesn't know her biological father, but was raised by her mom and her stepdad. Being the stubborn person that she is, she emancipated herself and lived with her teammate to keep playing varsity volleyball and to be with her friends instead of moving with her family when she was in high school. Now I'd like to know more about that. Now, did she go through the legal process of emancipating herself? Like, did she truly get emancipated? Because I thought in order to get emancipated, you had to show that you had some type of family stability. Or did she emancipate herself by saying, hey, mom, I don't want to go. Can I stay with my friends? And then her mom agreed that she could stay. So I want to know a little bit more about that story. And I want to know if she legally emancipated herself or if she just stayed behind with her friends with her mother's consent. It looks like her and her mom have a great relationship. So that's why I'm wondering if it was a legal thing or just agreement. Because it sounds like she was in high school. Maybe she was like a senior or close to being a senior because she said varsity volleyball. So I'm thinking that she was either in the 11th or 12th grade. She says she saw the contrast of having a mom home and having a dad who comes home and eats dinner with his family. And that's the type of family that she wants. And it sounds like maybe she saw that when she was living with her teammate. It wasn't clear if she saw that in her household with her mom and her stepdad, but it sounded like from the order that she said it in, that's what she saw in her teammate's home. And that gave her a desire for that type of family life. She is 37 years old and wants 2 kids and is concerned that she needs to get started before the age of 40. And that is a good point. At 35, you become a geriatric pregnancy, according to my doctor. So if you're around that age, there's so many things that you can do right now in terms of harvesting your eggs and things like that. And it sounds like she is financially secure. So she could take care of some of those things that she could do in order to preserve her maternal childbearing years for herself, because sometimes that does take money. So she could actually do those things that she needs to do to preserve her eggs. But she's over 35, so she needs to be thinking about that in terms of thinking about children. She told her mom that she was getting married at first sight, and her mom said, Good luck to him. And also Nate's friend said, good luck to her. So I thought it was very interesting that both of them did the sign of the cross and said good luck to the other person. I thought that was really cute and interesting. And her mom asked, is there a possibility of a postnup to protect the investment in the life that she's made for herself? And she said absolutely 100%. And if he does not agree to it, then it's a deal breaker. So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, when they get married at first sight, everybody signs a prenup. So everybody signs a prenup that if you get a divorce, you just take what you came in with. And then, so that's why they're talking about a postnup, so that once this, whatever period the prenup is in effect, then there would be a postnup in effect as well. But honestly, I really believe that, I mean, I hope that he would sign it. You don't really know the girl. She doesn't really know you. If you're not really looking from something at her, from her, and you know you took a chance at married at first sight, I don't know why you wouldn't sign a postnup. I think that he will. I really see this couple as a Candy Burris and Todd Tucker situation, because I see Nate. I think Nate has potential, and I think that he has goals and desires and things as to where he wants to be. And that's how I see Todd when he met Candy. He had his own goals, he had his own aspirations, and he was also working in that space trying to get to where he needed to be. And I think that he did sign a postnup as well. He signed a prenup agreement as well, and that was shown on television. But then we see what they've built together, and just by her giving him a little ammunition, so to speak, in order to take him where he always wanted to go, I think can help him too. But I feel like they make a great dynamic duo, Candy and Todd. And I think that Nate and Stacia can do that as well. If, you know, I think that they can do that as well. There's no if. I actually believe that Nate is a good person for Stacia, because she likes to be in control. You know, she sees herself as a boss. She's made a lot of financial moves, and she is kind of where he wants to be. But I feel like if they would have given her someone who was like at her level, they wouldn't want her to leave. They would want to have the control, because that's who they are. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I think that she will be able to control Nate, because he wants that type of direction. She's a little older than him, so just on the level of men and women, his maturity is not at to where hers would be anyway. And I think that she will be able to lead him to the destiny of where they both want to go. And I think that he will latch on, because he said, you know, he's been reading books, he's self-improved, he's been improving himself. He said he believes in experts, he'll listen to what they say. So I think he'll be amenable to the direction that she gives them for their marriage to move them forward. And some other man who may be at a different level than Nate, I don't think that he would be as willing to allow her to lead them in that way. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Does that make sense? Am I off my rocker? Let's look at Nate. His friends are really important to him. He has a small family, and they don't live in San Diego, so his friends are his family. He's 34 and done a lot of work to improve himself. He got into a little hustle mode. He's ready to move forward and find his partner. He's an unorthodox risk taker, not afraid of challenging the status quo. Growing up, he always had the entrepreneurial spirit. He sold replica Louis Vuitton bags, but Metro PD said he needed to shut it down or go to jail. He immediately stopped. So that tells me he is able to follow rules, because he immediately stopped and didn't try to continue the hustle. And, you know, hey, why they gave him that opportunity to stop instead of just arresting him, I don't know. But, you know, sounds like he was given a chance in life. Things like the course, he said, things like this is what helped him course correct. He said now he is financially savvy. He's had hardships. He's been broke a lot. He slept in his car. He hit rock bottom multiple times, but that got him to get to his upside potential. He's gotten into a lot of self-improvement and read a lot of books for self-improvement. Now he's day trading and in sales. He sells advertisement to rental chains like shopping malls or big restaurants. He can take care of himself, and now he is ready to take care of a partner. He's a good guy overall and ready to be a husband. He says in the past, it's hard for women to get over his past. So I'm wondering if there's things in his past that he's not telling us, because he says that he sold Louis Vuitton bags, but they were knockoffs, but he didn't say he went to jail. He just said that he stopped, and he stopped immediately, and he slept in his car. Like, I don't see anything that he said that they let us hear that would be hard for somebody to get over his past. You know, he wasn't selling drugs, he was selling Louis Vuitton bags. I think if given the two, I would take the bags. So I'm not sure if there's more to Nate's story, since he said it's hard for women to get over his past. He believes in consulting with professionals. I like that, which means that he can accept direction, which means he will accept direction from Stacia because he sees she is where he wants to go. He says he's going to trust the process. He doesn't want to be lonely anymore, and he is done with going out and smashing chicks, and he did that in his late 20s. I think we see Nate as like the playboy just because of his looks, and he has, you know, a nice body and everything, but I don't think that he is, and I don't think he is because of what his friend says. But he's saying that going out and smashing, that was in his 20s. Well, he is 34, so I feel like he's left that behind at least a couple of years ago. I don't think that he is like Elijah, who it sounded like he stopped during COVID. It sounds like he has been grinding, trying to make a life for himself for a couple of years now, and this is just not a new thing for him. And that playboy thing that we may see him as was a long time ago, not anything recent. So he did take Elijah's advice, and he deleted all the dating apps, and he is going to take this very seriously. And I think he will, based on what his friends said about him. Now, you know, them friends, they will tell on you if you still out there in them streets. And his friend said that he's 100% deserving of this. He's the typical modern day dating doesn't work. That's not really his vibe. So the typical modern day dating, I would think of like running through women and stuff. His friends are saying that that doesn't work for him, and that is not his vibe. So let's look at what his friend says. His friend says that he is 100% deserving of this. Typical modern day dating scene doesn't work for him. That's not his vibe. So I would think like going out and running through women, they're saying that's not his vibe. Everybody's out partying and drinking, but Nate goes to work. So he's not out in the club scene doing all of this craziness, which we would think, because we get the Bachelor scene where he's being disrespectful to the girl. But I think that maybe that was a one-off. I'm not going to hold him too harshly to that, although I thought it was just disgusting. But his friend says that he's not out partying and drinking, but he's at home working. They say he's one of the good guys. He is sweet, caring, and complete. And then one of his friends wants to know, what if his wife doesn't like him having female friends? And he had a great answer. He said, I haven't even thought about that. And I really feel like he was saying, I haven't thought about that, and we will cross that road when we get to it. So yeah, which is always interesting when you see like someone with Nate, and then you see the young ladies there, and it doesn't seem like they were married. It's like, well, why come you guys didn't get together since he's such a great guy? Or did you date? I guess that's what I would ask. Before my husband, he doesn't have female friends. We just don't do that. But you know, if it was married at first sight and I didn't have a choice, I guess that would be my question. Have you dated or had relations with any of these close girlfriends? Because I feel like if you've already crossed that line once, then you can definitely double back And also, I just wouldn't want my husband having a good girlfriend to when we're having issues, going vent to a girlfriend, because emotions and those things, they just creep up on you, and you don't plan for it, and sometimes it just happens, and it's just, yeah. But I wouldn't mind him still having his friends, as long as we all can now be friends, so we can all be a friend group. And then but you can't be all free with my husband like you were before we got married. But that's just me. Let me know what you think. What is your standard in that area? When the ladies all got together, Stacia said she has issues finding someone with intention, who knows exactly what they want and moves in that. And I think that Nate knows what he wants, and I think he's moving in that. He's trying to be a day trader on the side, and plus he has a full-time job doing sales. So I think that he's moving in that. So I think that she will get what she wants there. She wants a guy who is ambitious like her. He doesn't have to be as ambitious, but have some type of goal that he's reaching for. I think that that's good. And Nate, with the guys, he said he likes an independent woman who has ambition. And I think that that is Stacia. They then go shop for wedding attire, and Stacia says that she does not want anything simple or basic, because she's not simple or basic. She tries on about 3 dresses, and once she finds the dress that she wants, she says that she feels like she is in a fairy tale. And then they have this conversation about her knowing what submission is. And she says that, she will give him control little bits at a time. Pick a restaurant. Oh, can you pick a restaurant? You did that, and a little bit more. And that's why I think her and Nate are going to work out, because I think that he is going to be okay with her having the control and giving it to him little by little. Where if there was a man who was her equal, who was just as strong and powerful and made money moves like she's already did, and he was like this big business guy, I don't think that they would take that. I think that they'd be like, I'm the man, I'm in charge. And, from day one, they wouldn't be like, okay, you can give me a little here, you can give me a little there. So I think that based on her personality, that she needs someone like Nate. We then see Nate. He is styling and profiling. I really like the suit that he picked out. It was different, really him, very stylish. I thought that was a good choice for him. I think she's going to be excited when she sees him in this suit. I think that that is going to be perfect. We then see our commercial for James Allen, and him, Nate, and his friend girl are picking out Stacia's ring, and they show us all about the website for jamesallen.com, and it tells us the types of rings. It's a 1, 2, 3 step, and it gives us a commercial in the middle of Married at First Sight. So I'm wondering, did Steve really bring James Allen to the table, or did Steve bring James Allen to the table? And now James Allen is a sponsor of the show, obviously, because we see later on that the ring was given to Alexia, that was sponsored by James Allen as well. I'm sure Married at First Sight is not paying for that the pay is, we're gonna advertise you in the middle of the show. However, I guess my only complaint is that the ring that the women gave to the Alexis gave to Justin was not cutting it. So jamesallen.com, if you are going to sponsor the rings, can you sponsor the rings on both the men and the women side? I think is a great sponsor. So I'm not sure now if Steve really brought James Allen to the table and now, they're just a sponsor, or if they were a sponsor and they just allowed Steve to kind of showcase that during the last season. Let me know what you think. At the bachelorette party, Stacia says that she's trying to get the fairy tale with a thug. And she likes the tattoos, she likes a little edge, but also she likes a well put together, clean guy. And I think that Nate can be that kind of a thug with an edge. I think he can straddle the fence on that and be that wholesome thug, I guess I would say, that Stacia is looking for. Like, he's not so far out there, because I don't see him as a thug, but I think that he can have that hard, rugged side to him in a more dignified way. So I'm not sure. I think that she's might be getting what she wants. We then see the interaction from the back and forth between Stacia and Nate, where Stacia is saying that she is not jealous and she does not mind her husband having female friends, which that answers the question that he wanted to know earlier, but as long as he does not invite negative attention in. And then we see the scene where Nate is telling the girl to get on her knees and putting whipped cream in her mouth, and that whole disrespectful scene that was displayed, which I didn't think showed him in the best light. And I know different people have different things about it. I felt the same way about the scene last year with Elijah Wan when he was at his bachelor's party, but Katina really didn't think nothing of it. So I don't know how Stacia is going to feel about it. I wouldn't like it. I would think it's disrespectful, but also I wouldn't hold it against him. It's something that he did before we got married, before he even knew me. So I would just hope that he would not do anything similar to that while we are in our relationship. But I didn't like it at all. Even though it's a bachelor party, it's supposed to be fun. I feel like you're on national TV. You still should conduct yourself in a way that shows you have decorum. But that's my personal preference and that's my personal aesthetic. So maybe other people really, that didn't bother them at all. The last thing we see for this couple is Stacia on her wedding day. She is pacing back and forth. She can't believe this is happening. She's getting really nervous about the things ahead. Now it is your turn. What do you think about this couple? Do you think Stacia is getting her fairy tale with a thug? Do you think that Stacia's controlling ways will help Nate get to where he needs to be? Do you think this is the next Candy and Todd? What do you think Nate will say about signing a post-nup? Let me know what you think by being part of the conversations in the comment section. We then see Alexis and Justin. Dr. Pepper tells us that Alexis and Justin are both highly caring individuals, looking for a spouse they can cater to. Alexis desires a husband like Justin who is more low-key than herself. I'm not sure if Justin is more low-key than Alexis, but we'll see. Justin is looking for an enthusiastic cheerleader like Alexis who can encourage him to strive for his best. But she is a football player and not a cheerleader. So we'll see if she can cheer him on, which I see that's somebody on the sidelines. She's somebody who's in the game. So we'll see if Alexis can cheer Justin on. Pastor Cal then tells us why they were matched. Alexis and Justin are a strong match. Sensitive and emotionally available Justin will help Alexis, who is used to playing the position of strong female, feel more comfortable being vulnerable. Devoted Alexis will provide Justin with a commitment he's long been searching for after his failed engagement. So do we see Alexis as devoted and committed, even though she's passed on 3 engagements from people that she actually knows and who has she spent time with? I don't know. Seems kind of odd to me. Let's look at Justin. Justin says the single life has been lonely for him. His brother raised him from the age of 14 to 19. He made a man out of him. His brother's opinion matters to him. He's not only a brother, but like a father figure. Women are curious about if he is well endowed due to his height. He was 5'3" in the 3rd grade and 5'10" in the 5th grade. Basketball was picked for him, but he wished somebody would have told him how hard it is to make it in the NBA. At the age 22-23, he was engaged, but he split a month before the wedding. It didn't work out because she wanted someone more financially stable. She didn't really give him an opportunity to even work on that. He had a lot of time to work on himself, and now he is happy internally. He pays attention to red flags. He decided to be celibate for the last year and a half, and he wants to connect with someone mentally and emotionally, but he keeps going after what he wants versus what he needs. I don't know if I really understand about the girl not wanting him because he was not financially stable. He was in 22, 23. I don't think somebody expects someone to be financially stable in their early 20s. That's kind of like when you want to build together. And they split a month before the wedding, but it sounded like they were dating prior. So I don't know, was he supposed to get a windfall and then he didn't get it and then she broke up with him? I think that there is more to that story. And then people being curious about if he's well endowed, like is it really people or maybe a person? He mentions that quite a bit, like that is a badge of honor. And he makes it sound like that's what drove him to celibacy. So I'm not really sure about, there's some missing pieces for me in the things that Justin is saying. But what is really interesting to me is he is telling his family, his brother and his sister-in-law, about him getting married at first sight. And he specifically asked for their feedback. So he tells them, get married at first sight, and they're just kind of sitting there. And it sounds like this is the first time that they're hearing of it. I don't know what they were expecting because, lights, cameras, action. The cameras are there. So they didn't know. They seem like they are really caught off guard unless they just are really like he didn't tell them he was going through the process. Like he just sprung it on them. I am getting married at first sight. So I'm really curious to know kind of like the backstory about that. But the thing is that he asked them specifically, I want to hear your opinion. Tell me what you think. And then when they give him their opinion, which this is a huge commitment. We're not sure if you're ready for this just yet. 5 years ago, you were almost married. You don't know anything about this person. He says, I pictured this conversation going a little smoothly. I thought you'd be super excited for me. But you asked for their opinion. And when they gave it to you, because it wasn't what you liked, then you all heard about it. He even was emotional and crying over this conversation, which I think this is what Elijah Wan and the other hosts and the aficionados saw during the kickoff special. Because during the kickoff special, after we saw the small clip of his brother and his interaction at the bachelorette party, Elijah Wan said his brother is telling him that because he loves him. And I was like, well, where are they getting that from? But if we saw this clip before that one, we would see where Elijah Wan is getting it from. Because I do think that his brother is being concerned out of love because he loves him. He doesn't want to see his brother hurt again. And whatever they saw from that last breakup, they think that just almost destroyed him. He was really distraught. We see that Justin is very emotional. So he probably had a huge emotional reaction after someone who he loved, he proposed to, now they're getting married and they broke up. There was probably like emotions all over the place. So I see why his brother is saying that. And he's saying it out of concern. And I feel like you shouldn't ask anybody their opinion if they give you something that you're not going to like, and then you're going to ding them for it. Like he asked them, what do you think? Well, this is what I think. I think you're making a mistake, which is what a lot of people would say if they found out people were getting married at first sight. So although he asks and he says that he can take, other people's comments, he sounds like he's open in that way. I'm not sure if he really can, if it's not what he actually wants to hear. His brother says that being married at first sight is forced, it's not natural, and he's fearful if it doesn't work out, he will give up on love altogether, and he doesn't want to see that for his brother. He's worried that if it doesn't work out, then he will be broken. After last engagement, he had a hard time and he left the States. So his brother is really concerned. I thought that was interesting. Now we see Alexis. Alexis says she has male friends who are very protective of her. They look at her like a little sister. She's never been engaged but proposed 2-3 times. She's very transparent and direct, afraid of marriage and because she thought it might fail. She loves fast and loves with everything she has. Her dog is her little baby, and her mom buys her dog's outfits and gives it oatmeal baths. Her parents didn't have a great marriage, and they stayed together for the love of their children. And at the age of 18, on her 18th birthday, they announced that they were getting a divorce, and the kids were excited and said, "Thank God." Personally, I admire parents. We stay together, we stay married for a lot of reasons. And if you're gonna stay married for your kids, I think it is a great thing. I think that kids do need a 2-parent home. I think they need a stable home. However, I think they need a happy home. So if you can't provide that while staying together, I think it is detrimental to the kids. And evidently, if they were excited about them getting divorced, then they didn't see like a happy, healthy home. But at least their parents tried to give them the stability that a kid would need in a 2-parent household. So kudos to her parents and other parents who stay together for the kids, as long as you can stay together in a healthy, happy home and not kind of project that on their kids. So I think that her parents did project that on the kids because they were excited about them getting a divorce. But they tried. So I still say kudos for them for at least trying, because we stay together for a million reasons. And if the kids is important enough for you too, it's hard when a kid has to go through divorced parents, go to 2 homes and all of this kind of stuff. I think that that's hard on a kid. But if you're going to be abusive or just terrible to one another, then I do think divorce is a better option. Watching her parents' marriage fail really affected her. I think that that's probably why she said no to the divorce, to the marriage proposals. It was soon after her parents actually got a divorce. She's always thought everything had to be perfect. If it wasn't perfect, she didn't want it, in which she now realizes is unrealistic. In retrospect, she came to realize that you got to work out. In retrospect, she came to realize that you got to work this out. Everything doesn't end in running away. You gotta work it out. Getting married at first sight to stop herself from getting in her own way. She wants a partner, homie, and a best friend. She's tired of writing her mom's name down on the emergency contact. She wants to give all her love and pour into a fine and tall man. Fine and tall man is what she's asking for. Alexis' friends are her football buddies that she plays football with, and their comment is that she needs to work on her delivery and she needs to work on being tactful. And she asked them, "What do I need to work on?" And then they tell her, and she's like, "I don't do that." Like, no, you asked them, they told you, now accept the advice. So I don't know if that's going to be a theme between her and Justin. Like, they both asked for advice and then were resistant to the advice that they were given. I know a lot of us do that, but that might cause problems in their relationship. When the ladies get together, Alexis tells us a little bit more about her proposals. She says that the first one was her high school boyfriend, the second one was a college friend, and the third one was a college romance. So I'm not sure about that. The high school boyfriend, some people get married to their high school sweethearts all the time. A college friend, she didn't say a boyfriend, she said a college friend, and then she said a college romance. So were those serious proposals? First thing I think about is maybe somebody was trying to get a green card and trying to get married, or maybe somebody's going to the military. Sometimes people want to go to the military and they want to be married because of the benefits that you can get because of that. So I'm not sure. Those both sound kind of skeptical, like it was maybe a conversation rather than a formal proposal. Let me know what you think in the comments. Lindy says that Alexis is outspoken, everything is out in the open, and she hopes her husband is the person that she's ready to say yes to. In the guys' outing, Justin reveals that women look at him like a piece of meat and he's interested in conversation and they want to know if he is packing. So again, he says that, and Mitch says that Justin is humble but confident at the same time. So again, I'm not sure if it's producer led, because he keeps repeating that same thing, like making it a big deal. And I don't know, in today's salacious society, maybe production wants to drive that point home. I'm not impressed. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not impressed. Moving on. So shopping for wedding attire. I'm so glad that Donnell, which is Justin's brother, came shopping with him for wedding attire. I think that shows that I am not on board with what you're doing, but I will come and support you. I think that is showing his support, even though we know that he is not sold on this idea. And I think that like, what more can you expect? You can't expect them to change their mind or think something. You can't make them think something different. And his brother came along with his two nephews, and Justin was extremely excited. I think that the tux that he picked was really, really great. And he asked his brother if he was still on the fence. And his brother said, yeah, he's still on the fence. He doesn't think that this is a good idea. But my thing is, if you don't want the opinion, then don't ask him what he thinks. He was styling and profiling in the mirror, just like Nate. So, thinking about how it's going to be and what she's going to say when she first sees him, which I thought is really great. I think that you should be extra excited when you are making those decisions. Alexis went clothes shopping with her friends, and she was trying to she didn't have any idea of what type of dress that she wants. She has not been planning her wedding since she was a little girl, so she was just an open book on what they would give her. She tried on about 3 dresses before they found the dress for her, 3 that they showed us. And her friends were thinking that she was trying to be more conservative, but they just wanted to be Lex. And she picked a dress that she felt was in the middle of conservative and letting it all hang out, and hoped that he would like that particular balance. She was really concerned because she says, this will be the first time he sees her, and first impressions mean a lot, which is exactly what I think as well. So I was glad that she was conscious and thinking about those things as she makes the decision of the dress she will wear when she meets her husband for the very first time. At the bachelor party, we see Justin, and again, he's letting us know that he is celibate, that he wants emotional connection, and that strippers and women in that environment just do nothing for him. He really needs that emotional connection. And we see another interaction between him and his brother, and it doesn't really say how this particular conversation got started, but I would really like to know that, because I would like to know if they keep asking his brother, or now is his brother just volunteering the information, because his brother is not on board. He's not excited, but he came to the bachelor party to support you. So sometimes you just have to accept people in terms of what they can give and how they can give you the support. His brother, even though he doesn't agree, has been there for him at each particular event. He came to hear about what Justin had decided to do. He then came to the dress shop and helped him pick out a tuxedo. And now he's showing up for him at the bachelor party. I think it's okay. I think that's support. He's saying, I don't agree with you, and I don't think that what you're doing is right, but I am here and I am going to support you anyway. And I will catch you if you fall. So I think it's support. And I think that Justin in this interaction just went off too much, because again, his brother in some type of conversation, not sure how it started, but he says that this is not how he pictured him getting married. He says that he is devastated and terrified that he's getting married to a complete stranger. You're about to get married. You got to be locked down. You're about I'm not sure how the conversation got started, but his brother says, "This is not how I pictured you getting married. I'm still devastated and terrified of how you're getting married to a complete stranger. You about to get married, you about to get locked down, you about to be placed in jail on probation, locked up, and you don't understand what that means." And then Justin says that he doesn't care what his brother thinks. But you said prior that your brother's opinion means a lot to you. And I don't agree. And I do agree with his brother that he wasn't listening. And then his brother called him a curse word, which I don't agree with it. But I think that, I don't know what should have happened. Maybe the conversation should not have happened, but I think his brother is being supportive. I did not like Justin's reaction to his brother, especially if he feels like he is a father figure. But I didn't like the brother cursing at Justin either. I never think that that is appropriate. I think that you should always treat people with decency and respect. But I do, his brother is just being true to who he is, and he is feeling this way because he loves Justin and just doesn't want to see him hurt again. But it's my understanding, well, they said at the wedding that they made up, so I'm really glad about that because I hate when families do not get along. We see Alexis at the bachelorette party, and she is just having her a good time. She is twerking on the pole. It looked like all of the ladies took their turn, kind of dancing with the pole kind of thing. I mean, just turning it up. She was probably turning it up more so than some of the other females. We see that her and Lindy are still not getting along because she still cannot find a common ground between her and Lindy, besides the fact that they're both marrying a stranger. And then there is this really interesting conversation where someone brings up the subject of what would you do if your husband is uncircumcised? And we're not sure how many people answered, but they highlighted Alexis answering, saying that she doesn't know, she's never seen that before. So I'm wondering if on down in the season, if we're gonna find out that Justin is uncircumcised and how that's gonna be handled. Now, mind you, production knows at this time whether he's circumcised or uncircumcised. It's probably a question on the questionnaire. But they don't know how it's gonna play out in the rest of the season, but they have seen it. So maybe they do know that this becomes an issue. But when they ask the question at this time, they don't know how it's going to play out. But maybe they ask the question because they know that's kind of something different on the questionnaire, and then we're going to see it later. So I'm wondering if this is going to be an issue later in terms of Justin being uncircumcised. So we shall see. The morning of Justin and Alexis's wedding, we see Alexis have a total meltdown. She is particularly crying in her mom's bosom, wondering if this is the right move for her. Now, she told us earlier that she only cries twice a year, so I guess this is her good cry for the year. But her mom is very consoling and nurturing for her in this moment. And we also see Alexis receive her engagement ring from JamesAllen.com. So they give her engagement ring from JamesAllen.com that Justin has picked out and curated himself. And we see him with his friends. His brother is not particular in the room that I saw. So he is a little more calmer on this day. He's nervous, but he's ready to go. And then we get to the first wedding of the season. And they did not waste any time. When Alexis turned that corner, she looked absolutely beautiful. He took a breath and actually whispered under his breath that you could tell that he thought that this was a great catch and a good thing. They had a lot of banter at the altar, which personally got on my nerves. Don't talk. Just let the person say what they got to say. Listen, take it all in. They got on my nerves. But It was cute. That's not me. I'm a very decorum person. But it was cute that they were interaction. Alexis started off talking. She didn't even let the pastor introduce them. She introduced herself and, asked was something in her teeth. So she was very naturally herself, but she said she is direct. So she was being who she is. And I think that he was receptive to that. So here we go. The pastor said, Justin's family would like you to know that Justin is a fun, charismatic character who can be a bit annoying at times, but he's a sweetheart and you'll never question how he's feeling because Justin, or Tree as we call him, is a great communicator. He speaks his mind and is very straightforward and direct. We hope you don't mind sharing him with another lady in his life. His dog. Justin can be a little sensitive, but don't let that fool you. He is one of the most confident, resilient, and resourceful men you'll come to know. Take care of our guy, and he will take care of you. When she said another lady in your life, Alexis said, "Are you a mama's boy?" And he said, "No." Which I guess he's not. The pastor then went on to introduce Alexis. Justin, Alexis' family and friends would like you to know that Alexis is an absolute powerhouse. She's intelligent, breathtakingly beautiful, and filled with faith. There's never a dull moment with her. Appearance matters to her, so be prepared to match her fly. She loves all things fashion, and she loves opportunities to display her creativity, like making vagina molds out of clay. She's a confident woman. Be prepared for an adventure of your life. She makes vagina molds out of clay. That's interesting. I'm not sure why she would pick that particular thing to make a mold of. And then the pastor was like, breathtakingly beautiful. Pastor, you're not supposed to notice nobody's beauty like that. Don't be up there showing out. But it did add flavor to the ceremony, so I'm gonna give him a pass for that one. So, I don't know. I think that everything that her family said was very, very positive. I think for him, his family saying that he is sensitive and can be annoying. I don't know if I would want my family to say that. And what is very interesting is when they are sitting down after they talk about their wedding, they talk about how their vows are similar, but I don't really see a lot of similarity with their vows. I don't see how they got that. And I mean, they say, oh, we can see why we were matched. I don't know if there's anything in this wedding ceremony that would, say why you're matched. I mean, I think that she can see that he's tall, but it really didn't say anything about their interests, more so about their characteristics. And breathtakingly beautiful. He can be sensitive sometimes, but he is resilient and resourceful. So I don't know if that can show you that you have commonalities, but I will say I always leave room to say that maybe they heard or seen something different that just wasn't edited into the clip as to why they think that they were matched. But as long as they think they're matched, we can say all day, we can't see it, but they know more than we do. And they said that they can see why they were matched. Let's look at Alexis's vows. I'd like to start off with a series of apologies. I apologize for all the times I wasn't there to wipe your tears, for not being there after a long day of work when you just needed a hug and a hot meal, and more importantly, forgive me for all the times you have wondered if I would ever make it to you, or even if I ever existed. I may not have been there then, but I'm here now, and if you'll let me, I vow to take care of you and to give you everything that you need. I can't promise I'll never hurt you, because even the best of intentions sometimes fall short, but I can promise to be patient with you and to make our lives exciting, adventurous, and full of passion. And finally, I promise to be with it if you're with it. I don't know. She's promising to be patient, be adventurous, have passion, and be with it. Is it like his vows? Let's see. Let's look at Justin's vows. I vow to respect, admire, and appreciate you for who you are, as well as the person you wish to become. I vow to support you and protect your freedoms, because although our lives are intertwined, your desires are still yours. I will always strive to meet your needs, not only out of obligation, but because I like to see you happy. I vow to keep our lives exciting, interesting, and full of passion. I vow to strive to treat you with compassion over fairness, because we are a team now and forever. And I vow to show you every day that I know exactly how lucky I am to have you in my life. So do they think their vows are similar because they both mention passion and excitement and adventure? I'm not sure, but the emotions are running high. I'm glad that they felt that when they first met each other. I thought that they looked a happy couple. I love that Justin asked her if he could give her a kiss, and I like that she allowed him to do that, because we see after the wedding, she said that he wasn't really her type and she wasn't really attracted to him in that way. Well, she alluded to she wasn't really attracted to him in that way. And my question is, are we ever satisfied? Are we ever satisfied? Because Alexis, she said in a conversation, I think it was with the ladies, that she wanted someone, or maybe it wasn't a cameo, but that she wanted someone who was tall. She said maybe 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", or 6'5". And now that she meets him and he's 6'8", 3 inches, which is not that much taller when you're talking about 3 inches. Well, that's just too much. Now he's just too tall. So are we ever satisfied? I mean, what? Like, I don't really know. Like, she said in the past, in the kickoff special, we saw that she said that she wanted someone like a linebacker. But she said that the tall was more of a deal breaker. If he wasn't a linebacker, she was okay with that. But now she really doesn't like his look. Well, sounds like she doesn't find him very attractive. Are we ever satisfied? But he thought she was just absolutely beautiful. He's absolutely satisfied. I like when they sat down and he kept giving her high fives. And I think he gave her high fives during the ceremony. And she's like, oh, I don't like that. And he was like, oh, I'll work on it. So right now he is head over heels with Alexis. And whatever she says, he is ready to conform to make this marriage work. But we've seen this before. And I really didn't like her asking him, well, how are you so tall? As if that's his, he didn't have anything to do with how tall he is. And he lets her know that tall is in his family and he's from Alabama. And she's like, I don't know, the way she responds to him, things that he can't control, sounded like a negative to me. And you just met this guy, so I feel like she's already being a little critical, but she is direct from the start. And I don't know, when you keep telling them what you don't like, but I would get tired of the high five, so I end up faulting Alexis for that one. But we saw the first interaction between the two, and we saw their wedding, and that concluded this episode. And what do you think about Alexis and Justin? What do you think about her tripping about him being 3 inches over her height requirement that she specifically asked for? Do you think this couple will make it? Do you think Alexis can be the cheerleader that Justin needs? Let's have a conversation in the comment section below. They did go more on the episode and what's to come for these couples, and expanded on things that we saw in this episode on the after show. So once you finish watching this video, head on over to the next and watch the after show video for season 15, episode 1, and we will see you next week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, Live with intention. Be intentional.